Hi folks, Harry Frank here with a quick tip on using Trapcode Form in conjunction with Adobe Premiere. Probably two things you haven't thought about using together, but actually they work together very well using Adobe Dynamic Link. You can create elements with Trapcode Form and import them into Premiere without even rendering. So let me show you how to do this. I shot some skating footage over at Venice Park in Venice, California. And in Adobe After Effects, I'm going to create a new comp here. I'm going to work at 720, and I'll create a quick title to throw on top of this footage. So I'm going to use Trapcode Form. Let's create a solid and apply Trapcode Form to this. I'm going to create kind of a circle-based background. So let me get my base form set up here. I only want one particle set in Z. So it's just one flat sheet of particles, and I'm going to size it out a little bit larger than the size of the comp using the size X and Y. The size Z doesn't matter because we only have one set of particles. I'm going to lower the number of particles to about, let's say 20 by 20 for now, and I'm going to scale these up so that these particles, these circles, are quite large. So let me go into the particle size here and scale these up. They're a little bit fuzzy right now because the sphere feather is set to 50. I'll set that to 0. And let's scale these down so that they're not overlapping. And we lower the particle count in Y and increase it in X so we have a pretty decent grid of particles. Maybe I'll lower the size just a little bit. Now I'm going to put these at a little bit of an angle, and I'm going to do this by using the Transform World section, which is way down here at the bottom. Transform World, and I can go into Z rotation and just kind of tilt these on their side. Now what I want to do is notch a little section in the middle for my text to go. And I'm going to do this using a quick map. I'm going to map the opacity to basically have these particles right in the middle have a 0% opacity. So I'm going to go to map number 1 here and set this to map opacity over the y-axis. So that was the up and down axis before I tilted it a little bit on its side. So if I twirl this open, we can see a map that I can apply all kinds of stuff to. And what I'm going to do is just make a little notch right in the center. So I'm going to set this middle section to have 0% opacity, and then the rest is going to have 100% opacity. I'm also going to have these scale a little bit. So I'm going to go to map number 2 here. Also map this in the y-axis, and let's draw a little upward and downward scale. And go over here, tap smooth a couple times to smooth that out. And let's give this some color. Now I could color the particle itself just by going here and changing the white to something like a blue. But I actually want a color map. So I'm going to go into the quick maps here, go to the color map section, and let's pick a color map. I'll use this blue right here, and I'm going to map this over a radial map. So it's going to start from the center and map it outward. So if I drag this dark blue over a little bit, you can see on the edges we've got that dark blue coming up. I'm going to darken it a little bit and lower the saturation of this because I don't like a very saturated blue. There we go. Now we've got our section in the middle for some text, so let me drop some text in here. Let's just make this skating at Venice. Tilt this on its side. And I got a little grunge texture in here, so let me throw this on top of that. I'll set this text to Lumimat, the grunge texture, so it gives a little bit of texture to it. Scale that down. I'm going to parent that texture to the text, so as the text moves, the texture moves. And we'll do a quick animation of this. I'll just have it slide in over the course of about a second. There, now it flies in. Very simple, very straightforward. It's more of a demonstration than showing you something super awesome. But you get the idea, and you can see how creative you can get using Trapcode Form as a background generator. So let me save that. Let's jump over to Adobe Premiere. So without rendering anything, I can just go to File, Adobe Dynamic Link, Import After Effects Composition, and I save this to my desktop. I've got my one composition here called Skating Title, and I can drag this right into my edit. As you can see, a Trapcode Form works just fine through Dynamic Link, which I think is a very cool thing. And it's an awesome tool for making backgrounds. Now, if you'd like a lot more backgrounds for Trapcode Form, you can simply go to redgiantsoftware.com, go to Products, and click on Harry Frank's Looping Backgrounds for Trapcode Suite. This is over 55 different backgrounds done in 4 different color palettes, so there's over 200 different backgrounds you can use, fully editable, change color, the camera, the particles, anything you want, uses Trapcode Form and Trapcode Starglow. So I'm Harry Frank. Thanks so much for watching.